Okay, it's recording.
Awesome. Okay, I think we can start. So, good afternoon, friends. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I know you'll have a busy schedule, probably with school, with work, or with sleep and eat. It's good. But I'm really happy to see some faces here. If you can share your your camera, that would be awesome. If you can't, it's okay. We understand. Sometimes I do it too. I go to restroom and I don't want to share of course, the camera because you don't want to do that. But it's great to see some faces here. And well, my name is Fernando Martinez. I am the orientation program mate here at the Seoul office. And today's Soul Talks, it's called Resiliency in a Crashing, Burning World, just like 2020, because we all know that this year has been crashing and burning, and we have to be resilient. And today is a very special session just because we're going to be talking a little bit about well, of course, resiliency, but we are doing this event as part of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we actually have some very, very special guests with us, including Ms. Nayeli Lopez and some of our friends from the Gammas. So if you all want to just, say hi super quick, we can start with Ms. Nayeli.
Thank you first. Well, I'm so excited to have this event. It's very, very important to talk about breast cancer awareness. And thank you for the Gammas for also co-hosting this. I think it's great. I think most of you know me, but if you don't, I'm the new assistant director for Seoul. I love my job. I love working here with students and I also teach dance here at TAMU. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Nayeli. And for our four speakers from the Gammas, would y'all share your names super quick and the regular, what is your classification, what are you studying?
Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca. You can call me Becca. I am a senior, currently majoring in business administration.
Hi, my name is Merari. I'm a senior majoring in kinesiology.
Hi everyone, my name is Addie Smith. You can call me Addie or Addie's, and I am currently majoring in elementary education with a bilingual emphasis.
Hi everyone, my name is Trinity. I'm Trinity. I'm a sophomore majoring in criminal justice and minoring in psychology.
Awesome. So now, before we begin, I would like to ask everyone on the session, what brought you to Soul Talks today? And I'm gonna choose someone like at random just because, sometimes you don't want to speak. So let me see the names super quick. Genesis. I know Genesis is here. So Jen, if you can speak, what brought you to Soul Talks today? And I think we only have one Jen, so.
Hello, Ferch. I guess just to hear more about the girls and of course breast cancer awareness. I think it's something that all of us would like to be more informed of. So I'm excited to hear from everybody today.
Awesome. And then someone else, just one more person. Is Alexis de la Cruz here? Can you share super quick just what brought you to Soul Talks today?
Hi everyone. So I came today to get credit on Trailblazers and just to see what this is about because this is my first talk. So
awesome. And that's such a very valid reason why you want to come to Soul Talks. You do get credit. And also I'm gonna send you all right now the link to check your attendance, and you can also collect your meal voucher. So actually, let me do that first so you can check your attendance. Give me a second. Here it is. So when you click on that link that I sent on the chat, your attendance is recorded, and that should be it. Now, thank you for sharing. And I want to ask now, what is the goal of breast cancer awareness? Why are we even doing this on the first place, right? Why this month? Why this event? Why do we want to bring awareness to this topic? Someone from the gammas can answer.
Can you all hear me? Hi, this is Jaden, but my camera isn't working for some reason. I am also in the gammas, but as long as you guys can hear me, I mean that works. So so the reason why breast cancer awareness, why it's so important and why it exists. So as in the name, it's to bring awareness, but also it's to increase, awareness that you need to check on yourself because there are not set causes of it. So we need to increase the knowledge that you can check yourself, and then from there you can go to the doctor so that you're able to know whether you are able, whether it's detectable or not. Also, it's a month where we raise funds for research into the cause and to prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. And I mean, there's many campaigns that offer information and support for those that have breast cancer or have been diagnosed, or those have even lost family members or friends due to breast cancer. And I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's to bring awareness, and it's intended to educate people about the disease.
And I think it's very important to actually talk about it, just because I feel like sometimes a lot of people, I don't know if it's just like our community, we kind of like silence those things because, like we don't want to seem like, I guess, I don't know if I could use the word like something. We just want to keep it to ourselves. But then again, I think it's pretty important to let everyone know, like, hey, this is it. This is how you can treat it, prevent it, and whatnot. And especially for, like, for example, me as a man, I don't feel like I have received as much information on this topic as I would like to. Like, I would love to, for example, tell my mom, like, hey, have you checked yourself? Like, and not feel like it's a taboo. So I think it's very important to also teach this to our brothers or our fathers and whatnot, because we all have someone that is a guy that might not be super comfortable speaking about these topics, right? And well, to start off before anything else, I just want to talk about the little pink ribbon that some people wear to indicate support, or well, just wearing pink because on Wednesdays we wear pink. We all have seen this going on October's, right? Wearing pink or the little ribbon. And most people are aware that it is associated with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. However, not as many people are aware of the roots of the little ribbon or the goals. And does anybody know like a little bit of the history of that pink ribbon, or why it was created? Just random question. Someone can raise your hand or. Okay, it's fine. I'll raise my own hand. So, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month began in 1985. Correct me if I'm saying something wrong, please, girls, because y'all know too. And it was a partnership between the American Cancer Society and the Pharmaceutical Division of Imperial Chemical Industries. I know, it's a mouthful. So Betty Ford actually helped kick off this week-long event because she was a survivor of breast cancer. So she was like, you know what? Let's put this knowledge and experience together and let's do something about it, right? To raise this awareness. She was diagnosed with cancer, with breast cancer, when Gerald Ford was the president of the United States. And of course, that definitely did bring more attention to the topic of the breast cancer, right? Now, the early goal of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month was to, of course, like someone said right now, educate women about breast cancer and early detection, the testing, and well, just to promote all of the things to, well, of course, keep everyone healthy in terms of this. And I think we should add now that we definitely need to include awareness for men. I keep going back to that because I think it's very important to also teach men to take care of their own family, right? And now I would like to ask Ms. Lopez to give us a small introduction to the importance of breast cancer awareness help us other, um, you know, how to be resilient, but it seems to be sometimes like a crash and burn.
Yeah, thank you, Ferg. So every October, we always see like this wealth of information about breast cancer. We see lots of ribbons, we see lots of awareness programs, and that is a good thing. You know, awareness surrounding breast cancer is incredibly important, as we kind of touched a little bit earlier on early detection, often through screening, can catch this on an early screening, and which is most treatable when you catch it at an early stage. So I was doing a little bit of research trying to find out statistics. I was looking at the American Cancer Society, and I thought it was really interesting. It mentions how breast cancer is the most common cancer in American women besides skin cancer. And the average risk of a woman in the US developing breast cancer at some point in her life is about 12%. So 1 out of 8 women. So for example, here we have, let's say we have about 20 folks. 1 out of 8 women, these are just statistics for a woman, right? But 1 out of 8 women would develop breast cancer. So out of here, we have 20, 3, 4, 5. So 2 or 3 of us would potentially. That's just a statistic for you to think about. The chance that a woman would unfortunately die from breast cancer is about 2.6%. So it's about 1 in 38. So possibly maybe one of us, if you think about it like that. And according to 2019, last year, we had about 41,000 women who died from breast cancer. So obviously, we know that it is a huge deal. As we look at the United States, we can just think about the world as well. On the positive side, you know, patients are experiencing better outcomes as a result of early diagnosis. Yes. And so when we think of breast cancer, it does not just affect elderly folks. Like I've met folks who, you know, they're in their 20s or in their early 30s. Yes. And so that does affect them. And so early diagnosis is very, very important. State of the art treatment options, you know, there's a lot of doctors that, you know, they can provide all these resources for you. And so that's very key. And today there are about 3.1 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. That's a lot, like 3.1 million. And so this includes women that are still being treated and those who just finished treatment. So these are our survivors. And so when I think of breast cancer, it hits home to me. My grandmother, she is 94. She's going to be 95 soon. She does have breast cancer. She was diagnosed with it in February. She was detected in February of this year, a couple months ago, with breast cancer on one breast. And it actually just extended to both this past week. So I was telling Ferg, I was thinking about you this past week in the program, because I was like, it's now on both, right? It's developing, it's furthering, right? And so obviously my story and like my experience, you know, when I first found out about my grandmother, I mean, my world collapsed. She's like my second mom. She's like my Coco. I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, but I love that movie, Coco. And so for me, it was very difficult to understand that, you know. I grew up with my grandmother, but I think it's important to keep talking about this, because when she was detected with breast cancer, again, my whole world fell apart. My life changed. And this happened right before COVID, so right before March, when you know the US was hit with COVID a lot in March. And so it was a lot for me to handle mentally and emotionally. So it does feel like a burning, crashing world, right? Which is kind of like our topic for today. And so for me, I had to figure out on how I was going to live with this news, right? Because as we know, cancer does not just go away, especially with elderly folks. And so I had to take some time for me and own my feelings of being sad, and my feelings were valid. Like I had to understand, like, hey, it's okay to feel sad and it's okay to feel like this for a certain time. But then I also realized I had to move forward with life, right? I have to move forward with it. If we just stay stagnant, we are never going to get anywhere. Like whatever situation or issue it is, it doesn't have to be specifically on breast cancer. You know, we're dwelling on something like about a situation for a very long time. We're not going to move forward, right? I think it's important to take some time, but also to take the steps to move forward, even if it's a little bit at a time. And so I don't know if cancer has hit anyone in your family here, but this is the second time that it hits my family in the past 5 years. So for me, breast cancer awareness and cancer awareness is important to me personally, because not only has it hit my grandmother, she's been affected by breast cancer, but so has my father been affected by another type of cancer. And so something that, again, I have had to develop is resiliency. Resiliency is something that I had to do constantly in my life, throughout my different challenges, no matter what obstacles I go through, I always have to just push forward to have a better future for myself and my family. And I'm one of those individuals that I have to do what it takes, to move forward with life. So I guess my message for you is, as you're thinking about breast cancer and you're thinking about resiliency in a different types of ways, no matter what your obstacle is in life, whether good or bad, I think it's important to learn from those experiences or learn from what's happening in your life. And because that's what really shapes who I am. That really shapes from who you are. I enjoy my life. I live my life to the fullest every day as best as I can. And I really just appreciate the people that surround me, especially during this COVID times. So that's a little bit about me and my experience with breast cancer and cancer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Nagili. Was someone- Oh, okay. So then I have another question now. As you spoke right now about your experience and why is this month important for you, and like breast cancer awareness is important for you, I would like to ask the Gammas, why is breast cancer awareness month important for your organization? I don't know if it's like based on your story, like someone's story, why is it important to you?
Hi. Breast cancer awareness is actually one of our national philanthropies. So throughout the nation, we do host different events and stuff like that. We do pride ourselves in women empowerment, and what way of empowering women than making sure that our members and women of the community are educated, are strong, are healthy. So we host different events, like I said, and we try to raise funds and awareness to make sure that, girls are aware of women are aware of early detection and all that, and all the different resources that they have. And also, like Jaden previously said, so we can make sure that we're donating for research, and we can make, I guess our lives easier in making sure that we're targeting more women. And like you said, it's becoming a topic that it needs more attention. So that's why we partner up and we do all those kinds of events to make sure that we are empowering women and making sure that they're staying strong, educated, and healthy.
And hopefully this video, when we post it on our website, is going to reach a lot of people. So thank you for sharing. And then now I would like to ask each one of you all that are home or at school, wherever you are behind the screen, I would like to ask for you to get your phone and to open your notes app. If you are using your phone to look at this WebEx meeting, get a pen, a paper, something. And I'm just going to give each one of us 60 seconds to write down what resilience means to you, right? If you don't know nothing at all, like what resilience could mean, think about the cause that we're battling for during October and then formulate what resilience means. Use your own words. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds. And I'm going to write my own definition too. Okay, and the 60 seconds have passed. So I'm gonna share super quick what I think personally resiliency is. This is my own definition that it's for me. So resiliency, to be like a rubber band. Times may get difficult, but I don't break easily. That's what I think I could explain to someone, like what resiliency means, or that is what I think is in my life, right? Would anybody like to share what resiliency means to you as a person?
I would. Well, to me, like the first word that came to mind was like adaptation, like being able to adapt to a new normal, especially like COVID. That's something that like none of us, like I think, ever expected to happen. And just like having to adjust to a new normal, what we call normal now, like wearing masks wherever you go, like, you know, and like I think this has also taught us though that stuff like this like should have like been like being like sanitized and stuff like that. And I think now having something like this, it's kind of like, I guess like shocked us in a way. So just being able to adapt to like new challenges and new changes in your life. So yeah, that's what came to mind for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Now, another question, and you can write it on your phone as well or in your piece of paper if you have one. What is the best way to react when something goes wrong? Whether we're talking about you got results back from the doctor and they're not as great as you expected, or when you didn't get the job you were applying to, what is the best way to react in your own opinion, right? Is it okay to have a fall apart moment, or is it necessary to bounce back right away? And of course, this is in your opinion from personal experience. We don't need to share this one. It's more of like reflecting on your personal experience. So I'm just gonna give you like 30 more seconds to think about it and just like write it down. Okay, so I'm gonna share super quick what I think is the best way to react when something goes wrong, and this is for me personally. So I think that we need to have a fall apart moment. I think it's very valid for everyone for whatever reason to say, you know what, like everything is going wrong and I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna feel bad, I'm gonna grieve, whatever it's happening. But then from that, it's very important to have that mentality of, you know what, I'm at rock bottom, but I'm gonna bounce back now from it. And I think it's pretty important to also remind the people around us if they're going through something, when something goes wrong for them, to remind them that it's okay for them to cry to them, it's okay for them to, you know, feel bad about something, but to bounce back and help them bounce back, right? I think we all can agree that we're humans and we're always going to be, you know, going through many emotions. But as long as we learn to identify those emotions within ourselves and for other people, we can always help them survive a crash and burning world. And well, we are surviving, so that's good. So I'm gonna read now another definition that I found of resiliency. It was more like professional description. So resiliency means being able to adapt to life's misfortunes and setbacks. When you have resilience, you harness inner strength that helps you rebound from a setback or challenge, such as a job loss, an illness, a disaster, or a loved one's death. If you lack resilience, you might dwell on problems, feel victimized, or become overwhelmed, or just turn into an unhealthy coping mechanism. It could be eating a lot, it could be smoking, drinking, and whatnot. And this is a very big problem, right? So we have to identify it. Now, for one of our friends from the Gammas, would you mind sharing with us an experience becoming a resilient adult and how you grew in that aspect of resiliency?
Of course. So I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. So for me, well, I'm a first time generation coming to the university, obviously. I know it's not breast cancer related, but it is a disease within the family related. Having someone obviously pass away throughout your college experience will be difficult. And for me, it was more of where I fall under the quote from Frida Kahlo, we can endure so much more than we think we can. So going through that difficult situation, having to also not only think about my classes, but about myself, I also had to find the positive things about my family member wanting me to aim into success. She didn't want me to come down and also like, well, it's the end of the world. The thing is, you had to be positive regardless of how how things bad can get. And at the end of the day, we can endure so much more, and it's all about having positivity within having that negative mindset of things will go right or wrong. But if you have hope and faith, that is what's going to make you who you are.
And I think it's very important to mention that even if it's like an example that's not necessarily with breast cancer, this applies to that as well, because we don't know, truthfully, we're 22 people here. We don't know who has someone on their family or themselves that might be going through something with breast cancer. And what you mentioned is very true. Like, you have to remain positive. You have to look at the good side of things, because you cannot just let yourself go down. That's not going to help your loved one or yourself, right? So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Now, if someone else would love to share another answer, it could be as well related to breast cancer or not, but just touching on resiliency as an experience, if anybody wants to share.
I can share.
Okay, awesome.
I'm not from Laredo, so coming to TAMU was a big kind of jump from where I'm actually from. I'm from Chicago, so I guess I can speak on the resilience of trying to adapt to a new place, a new setting, new people, new everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm human. The first year I got here, I completely fell apart. I missed home. I wanted to go home. I was like, why am I here? But I guess kind of like what you guys have been mentioning about staying positive and like that thing of bouncing back, I had to remind myself of the goals that I had and why I was really here, to kind of just keep pushing forward and keep pushing through it, because it was really difficult. But I mean, like, once I kind of settled in and I reminded myself, like, hey, I'm here because I chose to, and I'm here because I wanted to do something else with my life other than, just stay home. I was able to bounce back a little better throughout the time that I've been here. So I'm really glad that I did come here, though. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. And thank you for sharing that. I think it's pretty important to also remember your goals and what you do with your life, and remember that you have a purpose in your life, right? It has happened to me, and especially during this year, honestly, it's been so rough that everything goes like this, and I'm just like, I don't know where to look at anymore. It feels blurry and it's hazy. The path is hazy. So trying to focus on your goals and what you were trying to do and your purpose in being here, and remembering that there's a reason why everything is happening and why you should be strong. I think it's really important to remember that, right? Each one of you, as a person, if you're going through something, of course, just think of those things. How can you harness that inner strength and help others that might be going through something, probably like an illness, as we were talking about breast cancer? How can you help these people harness their inner strength and help them be resilient? Now, let's talk about a few specific items to be actively conscious when presented with a trying situation, or whenever we need to provide a source of strength to other people. And feel free to jot down these points on your phone or in in a piece of paper, for future reference, because honestly, this can definitely help you help others or help yourself, which would be amazing. Now, the first point is composure. Super simple, composure. Surprise diagnostic, or being in a stuck elevator, having a flat tire, or like me recently, my car won't turn on, something like that. Life offers countless of scenarios that throw equilibrium off balance, right? In these situations, and specifically the more disturbing ones, probably being sick, they can shift our thinking patterns, and from rational think thoughts to reactive thoughts. And to be more resilient, we need to stop, recognize the disruption, and take a minute to think about how you want to respond. Opt for solutions that represent your values and protect your interest. Now, I think that last part is pretty important. you need to stop, recognize the disruption that is happening in your life, and take a minute to think about how you want to respond. Let's bring it to the year 2020. We need to stop and recognize that yes, this year is bad. There's a lot of things going on. The coronavirus right now, elections, there's a lot of things. We need to stop and see that, okay, that's happening, but how do I want to respond to that? Do I want to be mad? Do I want to have a bad year? Am I going to really categorize it as a bad year? Or am I going to, live the days by days and try to do the best out of my life, right? It's really important to find a composure and be really aware of how you want to react to those situations. Now, a question for you all, and you don't have to share, you can share if you want, anybody that is here in this session. Has any of you ever recognized how you behave when presented with a difficult situation? Like, how do you feel? How do you tend to react? You get mad? Do you tend to eat, stress eating, binge eating? Or did you just feel like go to sleep? How do you react to a tough situation? Would anybody like to answer? Anybody in general? And well, let me share before someone decides how I react when something is like really stressful for me. One, I do want to eat. I don't care if I'm not hungry. Like, I want to eat. I need to eat, and then I just want to go to sleep. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, those two things. That's how I react, and I notice it, and I try to change it. I try to say, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna find better ways to cope. So, would anybody like to share something? Or should we pick someone? Okay, Becca, you pick someone.
Oh my God, pressure's on. Let's do Nana.
Nana. So, how do you react when presented with a difficult situation, Nana?
Hi, can you hear me? Yes, okay. So personally for me, I'm the kind of person that's like I do kind of get mad, but I'm like, okay, that's chill. Like, and then like if it's like a family thing, I usually try to be the rock for my family. So I'm like, okay, like don't cry or don't like put like too much pressure on yourself or anything. So I'm just like, okay, like it's gonna be okay, like when it comes to my family. But when it comes to like things that I want to do and like I fail or I do bad in an exam and stuff, like I get mad and then I sleep because I'm like, okay, like it's no point. Like, okay. And then well recently I've been doing this 5 thing. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, it won't matter in the next 5 minutes and stuff like that. So like right now, if I fail the exam that I'm like studying for, I was like, okay, like it's not gonna affect me in 5 years. It's not gonna affect me in the next 5 months. So I'm like, okay, like you're good. Like it's just a step back, like breathe, and yeah, like I guess that's how I personally do it. But yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Nana, and good luck in your exam. So now the next point is patience. So listening is an art that tastes our patience. For example, oh my God, this is a very good one. Listening does taste our patience, especially when someone else shares something that we don't really want to hear or that we, rather be doing something else than talking with someone or listening to someone. Now, patience is a marker of resilience. Giving others our full attention when they're speaking, delaying our judgment and letting others complete their thoughts uninterrupted makes us better listeners and therefore more resilient, right? We definitely need to sometimes really stop our judgment, stop our thoughts, and truthfully listen to what someone else is doing. I'm gonna share something super quick. When I was junior, more or less, I was going through some like difficult situations, and one of my mentors, the only thing that she would do was just listen to me and not say anything. She wouldn't give me much of an advice. She would just listen and actively listen, and that was the best thing that someone could have ever done. Because honestly, whenever I would share my story with someone else, they would try to tell me what to do or help me, but that didn't really help. listening to me was what I truly needed. And maybe if we start practicing listening to people actively when someone is going through something, that can change their own perspective, right? They can feel validated. So patience really does come handy when you're listening to someone and their struggles, right? Now, the third point, optimism. Hope is the expectation for a better tomorrow, a better 2021, for example. So the hopeful are happier and healthier and live longer, right? While it's certainly easier for most of us to feel optimistic on days that the world or life is going good for us, it is just as important to stay positive on the darker days too, or in the darker weeks, or in the darker months, or in the darker year of 2020. To get better at seeing the bright spots in tough times and stay resilient, we need to remember happy moments and the people who support you, your strengths, your purpose, and what you believe in. Now, if I have someone in my family that they are diagnosed, for example, with breast cancer, let's say, and I have had someone going through something like this before, we would always try to remember that our family was with my tia, right? That we were there for her, that she was full of strengths, and then how amazing she was despite sometimes winning too much at loteria. That's something little random. But we believed in her, and we always made sure to tell her that she got that, that she was going to be okay and that we were there to support her. We're optimistic with her. And we also need to be optimistic with ourselves as we're going through this semester. It's really rough. I completely understand that. It's going rough for me. I'm pretty sure it's going rough for many of you. Just be optimistic. This is really gonna end like this. Tomorrow, in a year, we're gonna be laughing at it. Well, hopefully. We're gonna be remembering like, oh my God, like a year ago. Can you believe it? And it's just gonna go down in history. We're living through a historic year. So, wow. Now, I would like to ask someone, and maybe Aris, if you want to choose someone to answer this, what is a memory you can think of that brings you happiness, regardless of whatever difficulty you might go through? It's a memory that brings you happiness. Who do you think could answer this, Aris?
I'm gonna choose someone random from the public. I'm gonna go.
Who do you say?
Kevin Marquez.
Oh, okay. Kevin, if you're there, what is a memory that you can think of that brings you happiness, regardless of whatever situation you might be going through?
I'm sorry, I was in a call. I'm so sorry. I feel like in a situation like that, I will. Can you hear me? Okay. I will. At the beginning, I like now with the coronavirus, I will be sad. But like what you said, after some time, I will like think think back of what the situation was, and I would like make me maybe laugh. It's something that I already like know how to manage, or like something that after like everything like I success at, you know what I mean? And I don't know what else. Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's good. Thank you for sharing. And definitely this year in the future is gonna be like something that we're gonna remember and laugh at a lot, lot. For example, me, I'm gonna be like, damn, I was really suffering and crying at 12 p.m. because I couldn't do homework. But anyways, that's another topic. So just be optimistic, right? Try to think of the happy times that you've had and that you're eventually gonna get to that point again. So then the next point, gratitude. Gratitude is like pizza toppings. We don't need it, but its presence makes the existence a whole lot happier, right? An attitude of gratitude strengthens our relationships and overall well being. to get better at being grateful, you need to practice it in both the big and small moments, right? You will get more resilient in the progress. Be thankful for something simple like a deep breath, a glass of water, a creative insight, a smile, a hug, or running a mile, for example. Honestly, this one is very, very, very important because we are oftentimes unaware of all the blessings that we have, right? We might be going through so much things, so many things, but we're still probably 1,000 times better than someone else in the world, right? And that is so true. And that's something that we also need to let others that are going through something know about, right? You might be going through something really, really rough, but you still have support, you still have food, you still have water, you still have somewhere to sleep, things of that nature, right? That can probably change perspective of someone and say, you know what, like I got everything to succeed. I got everything in me to, for example, be a survivor of breast cancer, right? I have everything in me to survive this semester, even though 2020 is really bad, right? So now the next point, it's acceptance. Most of us love control, but so much of life is out of our control. Truthfully, it's so out of our control. Even if we want to grab life by the hand, we can't. It's running really fast and we can't chase it, right? So you have a choice. Either you get rattled by uncertainty or embrace uncertainty, right? If you embrace uncertainty, your resiliency will boost, right? Embracing this uncertainty means engaging creatively with the unknown. Do it by being open and accepting what comes your way. You're saying yes to life, to the bad, but also the good. You need to accept that good things are gonna come, bad things are gonna come, and embrace it. Embrace the good things, embrace the bad things. Whatever it is, it's there for a purpose, right? So if we're going through something difficult, it's gonna make us tougher. It's gonna make us a better person eventually. We need to, accept the things that life throws at us, and instead of being sad and mad, and that's gonna make some fine lines appear in your face. So we don't want that. We want to look young. So then the next one. Oh well, no. I want to ask a question about acceptance. And then now this time, Trinity, if you want to choose someone, the question is, would you rather enjoy life and live to the fullest or consume yourself in worry and see how time flies when you do that? Who do you think would want to answer this question and why, right, of course?
I'm just gonna pick someone randomly. I don't know, there's so many people. Isabella, do you think that one?
Isabella Bali? Yes. So, Isabella, would you rather enjoy life and live to the fullest or consume yourself in worry and see how time flies when you do that? And why would you choose, right?
Hi, okay, can everybody hear me? Okay, so definitely a lot of radical acceptance, just because I feel like it's a lot easier to say, like, okay, this is happening, cool, next thing. Like something sort of like that, where it's like, okay, it's like this, even if something is going horribly, it's like, okay, this is happening. What else is new? Like, what's going on? How can I keep moving through this? So yeah, that'd be my answer.
Awesome, thank you. And that's literally it. That's literally it. And especially going back to, for example, breast cancer awareness. Whenever someone approaches us and we find out someone in our family is battling with breast cancer, it's like, okay, we accept the fact that this is happening and what's gonna come out of this, right? The good things. There's always the choice of getting the good out of the bad or just sinking in the bad, right? So I think it's pretty important to also remember acceptance. Now, the last point that I want to share today is connection. Connection, connect. Loneliness does not mean we don't have people around us or that, we don't have people to do things with, right? We can feel lonely in a party of 100 people or feel deeply connected in the company of one or two friends. Sorry for my hands. Loneliness is a lack of true connection to others, and it's harmful to our minds and our bodies. Build resilience by cultivating strong relationships with at least a few people. They will help you nurture hope and courage, and they can boost physical health and longevity too. So it's pretty important that if we have someone that is going through something, whatever it is, we try to have that connection with them. Even one person is enough to save someone else's life, to change their perspective, to help them see the good things out of the bad things, to help them accept, to help them be resilient, right? And we also need that to ourselves to make us happy, healthy, and live longer. We need to find at least one person that we connect with. It's okay to have a lot of acquaintances. It's okay to have like the 2,000 friends of Facebook and whatnot, but just one person that we can connect with, it's gonna be like more than enough. And I'm pretty sure, for example, like you, our friends from the Gammas, definitely know that connections are everything, right? You feel like feeling identified to someone and being able to share like your feelings and your thoughts, probably not with everyone, but at least one person is just the best. Oh, and I miss my mom. That's my biggest connection. I haven't seen my mom since March. 2020. FYI. Anyways, so in general, well, let's kind of recap these points real quick again. So if you want to write them down or, just think about them again. So it's composure, patience, optimism, gratitude, acceptance, and connection. These are the points that are going to help us be more resilient and help others be more resilient as we go through a crashing, burning world like 2020 or something like breast cancer. And as we try to teach others how to be aware and how to help others that might be going through the sickness or through something else, right? Now, in general, we can see that these points have the potential to not only promoting the awareness for the cause that we're battling, but also making a difference in a lot of people's life, right? In many aspects. So, do you think that when talking about breast cancer awareness, it's important to point out these points that we discussed? What do you think? Maybe someone from the Gammas can answer.
I'll answer. Um, yeah, I think it's important, especially like when we're talking about like resilience and stuff, and like how kind of like how I said it out. It's like to me, it means like adapting to something. That's something that they probably never expected for them to happen to them, or like and they had to adapt to a new lifestyle and like adapt to change and learn how to like get through it. And so I think it's very important also just to stay positive too, especially kind of like how we talked about. Like, I know 2020 is like crashing and burning, and it's just like not the best year, but I think that we also need to like find positives in anything, especially if it's like horrible. And so just like, yeah, I don't know. I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I'm like going off everywhere, but yes, it is important.
Thank you for, oh my God. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's important to keep some things in mind, right? Of course, if you all want. And then, what is something else that you all would like to share with someone in your experience, in your own perspective? Well, personally, I would like to share that it is very interesting working specifically with this topic, just because, again, I feel like it's not as usual for a man to speak on breast cancer awareness, right? Do you all feel like that? Do you all feel like men are often not included in this, or is it just me thinking of that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think definitely men sometimes are just not really included when we think of breast cancer. I know that one out of every 100 men, one out of every 100 men, they do get breast cancer. So yes, men and other people, they can get breast cancer. So I think there's not also, since I think that the majority it affects women the most. So I feel like there's a lot more awareness. There's a lot more programming with breast cancer, and it's I think there's just a larger focus on women. I think just generally speaking, I would like for there to be a little bit more focus on men. It's just a little bit more, or just awareness. I think some people may not know that it can also affect men, right? So just starting from there and letting folks know, hey, like breast cancer also affects men, 1 out of every 100 men, right? And so starting from there, I think, but again, I think because the majority is women, right? I think like I think Marari mentioned earlier, the empowerment of women, and then with the gammas and kind of like their mission and stuff. So yeah, that's my answer.
Well, I'm definitely glad to, try to help bring awareness to this topic. And I'm really glad that our friends from the Gammas accepted our invitation. Y'all are amazing. Is there something else you would want to share? Something specific to breast cancer, how you can, I guess, treat it, or checking, that's a little bit more of like, I wouldn't know what to say in that.
I guess I'll say something. My, I'm sorry, I have traffic. Both my grandmothers had breast cancer and fought and survived it. But it was caught on later. So like you could already see like the lumps and everything. So I would say just like always check yourself, like make sure you don't like have anything. And if you do feel something like something worrying, like go check, like no matter what, like you never know. And it's better to be safe than sorry. So yeah, just always check yourself, and if you have any concern, just go.
I feel like oftentimes it happens that we feel something different and we are just like really afraid. I don't know why that happens. Like we're just like, no, like I don't want to check. I don't want to see what is the outcome. It might be nothing, right? But I don't know why that happens. It's just like we're afraid of what could happen, and that could be worse than actually checking. I don't know why that happens. It's interesting. Well, it's 12:56. I don't know if anybody else would like to share something, any thoughts, any ideas, something you'll want to say, something that you got out from the session, anything.
I do want to say something real quick. So just make sure to follow our page also, since we will be having a whole event, a week of events. We will be having a bingo and a Kahoot in regards to breast cancer awareness. As well, we will be having a Pi Gamma, which is raising funds for donations for our Breast Cancer Society. So just also stay on the lookout. You can find us in our Instagram. We'll put on the message on the chat box, just so y'all can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, so y'all can just keep updated with us.
Awesome. Thank you. Definitely, yes. Follow their page. They're going to have a lot of events, and not just through October, like, throughout the year. And then one last thing that I would want to say is, well, two things that I want to say before we end. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you all so much, each one of you all. Thank you, Ms. Nayeli. Thank you, the Gamas. And thank you, everyone else. Remember to click the link I'm going to post again here. Remember to click the link so you can check your attendance and then pick up your meal voucher here at Seoul whenever you have time after today. And then I want to invite you definitely to our next Soul Talks session. It's gonna be next month. And well, I'm gonna post more information on Facebook. And yeah, Soul Talks is just talking, having a little conversation. Instead of, being on YouTube or bored, having a little bit of a conversation with someone, making new friends. But yes, thank you all so much and have an amazing day. And well, survive this crashing, burning world. There's nothing else we can do but that, right? Thank you, friends.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.